Yes, people, welcome back. Team Talk TV, episode 62. It's a packed show. It's five of us this time. We've got a coach, we've got Ibs, we've got Nesco, and we've got Sidi. I would ask one by one, but it's that time again. I just hope you're all well. God bless you all. But I'm just depressed again, man. That's what I'm saying. So we're gonna go straight into it. Manchester United 3, Liverpool 2 in the FA Cup. Bruno Fernandes winner from a free kick. We'll come on to Liverpool later. We'll talk a bit more about the game. It was a good game. It was a very interesting game. I think both sides probably played as well as they could. It was tight. Obviously, a moment of class from Fernandes did the trick. So we'll go to you guys then. What's your thoughts on the overall game?
Well, from a United perspective, I thought it was okay. I think on the ball, I think we know most of our gameplay is counter-attack football. So we're expecting Liverpool to have more of the game. Defensively, once again, like I've said in previous weeks and previous episodes, that's a big concern for me. Defending as a team. I don't know if we're a pressing team. I don't know if we're a low block team when we don't have the ball. It looks like a couple of players will press, then a couple of players will do a low block. I mean, Liverpool's first goal today was just atrocious defensively. Absolutely atrocious. One ball into Thiago. Wijnaldum. And I think Wijnaldum plays it into Firmino. No intensity to go and engage in the player on the ball. He turns on a half turn. McTominay just lets him wander past him, and it's a great through ball and a great Salah finish. Like, that's just two passes that split 9 or 10 players. That should not be happening. So for me, from a United perspective, again, defending wise, we need to improve as a team. Like, we know we can score goals. We've got the individuals that can score those moments. We're not really going to dominate games, I don't think. We're not at to that level yet. But defensively, United, Solskjaer needs to figure out what our identity is. Are we a high press team? Are we a low block team? What are we? Because it just seems that even when we do a low block, we're all the way back in our edge of our penalty box, which doesn't make any sense against a team like Liverpool. When we press high, you've got people that can't do it. You've got certain players in the team that can't press high, can't reach the man. They get there second too late. And when you're pressing, when you get there second too late, it's not good enough at the end of the day. And then you just getting exposed by good players, which Liverpool did like quite a few times today. So from United, it's great to go through. It's a cup competition. I'm not going to be a hypocrite here and start jumping around and saying, this, that, and the other, because I said already, I didn't want this, even if we lost, I didn't want it to knock our season. I'm more focused on the league. So, but it's great to win the tie. We get through to the next round and we kind of see what happens, really.
Okay. You said your thing as a Man United perspective. I don't have a Liverpool fan with me. So Ibs, Nesco, and Sidi, you're gonna have to help me out here. Your overall thoughts as a neutral, as a game. It was a good game. I think 1-1 at half time. Liverpool much better. They tweaked it up a little in attack. Obviously against Burnley, it was just the same old, just the constant crosses. I know they played Origi and Shaqiri on Thursday night, and Origi missed a big chance. But what was your overall thoughts on the game then?
I think from a neutral perspective, I have to say the deserving team did win. I felt that United overall were the better team creatively. Defensively, I know George talks about the defense. Obviously, you're going to say that as a United fan, but I don't think it was so super bad. The first goal was a good goal. Second goal, yeah, you got to blame. I don't know what Cavani's doing, but I just think overall United, they looked like they were carrying the bigger threat. Obviously, we know Liverpool got a lot of injuries now. I don't know what that fake Van Dijk lookalike is doing with his ponytail at the back that reached his confidence. I feel sorry for him. He might be a good player. Obviously, he's a young kid, but every time I've seen him, he just looks shocking. And when the comparison is Van Dijk, that's not going to do you any favors, man. But I think, yeah, outstanding game from Rashford, Pogba, Bruno. We already know what this guy's about. Proves himself every time. Cavani as well, put in a shift. Probably should have got a goal. So when you've got players, when you've got a front, even Greenwood, I'd say was a bit 50-50. I actually think he started off very poor, took his chance very well. Other than that, wasn't too impressive in. But United, they've got match winners all over the pitch. As we saw, 3 different goals, 3 different players. The right team won the match. That's all I can say on that one.
I respect your opinion there.
Shahab, sorry. Before Ibs goes, like Nesi just reminded me of something. Just quickly, I forgot to point out. When United have the ball, I think our IQ needs to be a bit better. For example, today, Liverpool's one of their best things they do is press high. We don't have the players adequate enough to take the ball under pressure from the back. And that's where the goal came from. I think Salah's second goal. We need to understand that we're playing against Reece Williams, who's up against Cavani. All we need to do is beat the press and get it up to Cavani directly. If Cavani cannot beat Reece Williams in the air or trap the ball in his chest, he shouldn't be playing in that match. It's as simple as that. We should have been picking on Reece Williams from minute one. There was no need for us to play out from the back. There was no need for us to play at the back.
I think on that, coach, it's always got to be, this is the problem with a lot of fans. You always say, we've got to play at the back. You got to mix it up, innit? Like, yeah, I agree with you. Sometimes you got to do it. And sometimes you got to play at the back. It's a bit of both. For the second goal, there was no need for Cavani to lose that there. No need. A player of his stature, his experience, that was all his fault as far as I'm concerned.
I'll say one thing.
Yeah. I mean, listen, that was all his fault. But once again, he was coming into a position where he's not comfortable with. Anybody else that's comfortable in that position, that's coached that way, you would have been on the half turn, or you would have trapped the ball with the sole of your foot. He just panicked and just thought, someone's behind me, so I'm just going to do a first-time pass. He's not comfortable with that yet. And I know Ole Solskjaer wants us to play from the back. That's great. But against teams like Liverpool who are really good on the press, we cannot be doing that and losing stupid goals like that. So for me, Reece Williams is at the back. We go longer to Cavani and play off Cavani. That's what we've got to do. We've got to play the game. Don't just play, we just want to play at the back. So Liverpool's strength and one of our biggest weaknesses, and we just give the ball to them. So I think on the ball is great playing at the back, mixing up like Nesi said. But for me, against Liverpool, if Reece Williams is back there, that's the man you got to target and go a bit longer and whatnot. But yeah, so go on, Sharp.
Yeah, okay, now fair enough. Easier said than done about beating our press. We're so good at pressing when Man United had the ball. I think we did really well, in fact, in moments in the game, pressing Manchester United. And they dealt with it well to get out. Obviously, Reece Williams was playing at Kidminster last year. He's not a Premier League player. He's not a Championship player. Whoever puts him in, Jurgen Klopp or whatever. No, he's not off coach, because he played at Kidminster last year. And we can't expect much from him, really. Wow. So, I'm not saying that Reece Williams, I'm not blaming the guy. The Klopp, ultimately, he's got all these youth players and he picked him. So maybe he's at fault, but also the owners don't want to sign a centre-back, which is inexcusable for me. I think it's inexcusable. We know about the financial situation and we know how Liverpool run with the sell to buy business and all of that stuff. But I just feel like we are at risk. I heard you guys say off camera, what if Liverpool don't get top four? But at the moment, we are, sadly, at risk. And if we sign a centre-back, just to assure it out, whether it was Eder Militao, whether it was, David Alaba, whether it was Sven Botman from Lille, which we were linked with, get it done. If we need to sell Origi or Nat Phillips to get that player, do it. But at the moment, the owners, Liverpool owners, are kind of scrounging around with the money and are just taking, a risk on not signing a centre-back. And I think that was the issue today. I think before this game, Liverpool weren't too bad defensively and they've done well, considering Van Dijk and Gomez has been out. But today was another example where we just cannot continue playing that way. I thought Liverpool played better today going forward compared to the last 5 or 6 games, which is great. If I'm being honest with you guys, and I know you guys are going to come on to me, but I don't care. I didn't think it was a free kick. It comes on the turn. No, I didn't think it was a free kick. In right was saying the same thing as me. Comes on the turn, but let me tell you one thing.
Are you talking about? Sorry, wait. Just so we're clear, are you talking about the goal Bruno scored, where Fabinho he's got done? That's like the oldest trick in the book. These men play with me, and I know Ibs don't rate my football and that. But guys, that's like my bread and butter. That's what I do. Pick the ball, roll it, and do the foul. That's like the oldest trick in the book, fam.
No,
come on, that's a foul.
That's correct. Let's go. All I'm saying is, only one club gets flipping fouls like that, and Manchester United. I don't care. I'm definitely.
No, but just so wait, let's go round. Just everyone, because obviously I hate United, but that's a foul. Like,
you know what?
Does anyone else not think it's a foul? Ibs, Sidi?
I think it's 50-50 personally. It can go either way.
It's a foul.
No, it is. Let's go. It can be a 50-50. The guy comes on the half turn. What else can Fabinho do? He gets the foul.
Stand your ground.
I understand.
What else could... Coach, he could not do anything else. He did what he could. And ultimately, a little slight brush and he's gone down. He's already going down. He knows he's got the free kick. He's got the free kick. Let me tell you something. I'm going like Rafa Benitez like 10 years ago when he talked about man games, right? Manchester United love to get all of these decisions. They got that decision today. And I think the deciding factor, because of the moment of class that Bruno possessed, got the goal. And fair play to Manchester United. They got the goal. It was a great game. I'm just so frustrated because the thing is, right, I don't want to blame it too much on referees, but I watched Kevin Friend, the Premier League referee. I saw highlights last night, Swansea getting Nottingham Forest or something. Watch it back. Watch one of the penalties. How do these Premier League referees keep getting it wrong time and time again? This amateur, David Coote, boy, I'm never going to get over this Everton-Liverpool game when Sadio Mane was offside. He had another shocker today as well. I know I should not be doing this too often. You guys have your opinion. But for me, I'm just frustrated. I saw Dot say something on Twitter. He felt like 2-2 Salah had a chance to square it to Mane. I was
just coming to that, but I was letting you lot finish.
Yeah,
continue, then I'll chime in, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll come to you, Sidi. Sorry, man. I don't want to come like this past the fan TV business.
So Shahab, hold on. Shahab, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the third round of the cup that you played, who was the referee?
I think it was Pawson, yeah.
The same referee had today, yeah?
Yeah.
So he was good enough when you went through in the third round. He was all right then, wasn't
Nothing happened. So why are you asking me that? Nothing happened.
No. Don't come and blame the referee.
No, I won't. Why are you mentioning the previous game? What's the previous game got to do anything? Nothing happened, coach.
Yeah, but what's the referee got to do with Reece Williams dangling his leg out like that? I don't understand.
It was
Fabinho.
Yeah, I mean, Fabinho just taking out Greenwood. Like, come on, man.
All right.
We could,
he took him out.
Guys, anyway, does anyone here think it was referee?
Look, if said it was 50-50, I can understand that.
You know what? Personally, it's one of them ones where if I'm the defender, as Nesi said, we played football. If I'm the defender,
that's what you would do to me.
That's what I would do. I would do the same thing. But if I'm in Cavani's position, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to lean and then I'm going to wait for the slightest touch and then I'm going to drop. You could see Cavani couldn't do nothing. He was already at that angle where he was going to go down. If you're an accomplished defender, you just stand him up and let it bounce off him. Cavani might have actually bounced off him because he's touch sometimes is you get me? It might have even bounced backwards or something like that. So I can see why you're pissed about it. Excuse my French, because you get me, but
no, it's fine.
It's one of them ones that can go either way.
No,
you know
I don't blame Cavani for going down that position, but I'm just feeling, like Nesco said, it's the oldest chicken in the book. It happens, but I don't think Fabinho could have done anymore. And then ultimately, the foul is given. Listen, that was the moment. That was the goal that ultimately decided the game. It was a great game, and obviously, just about United done it. And fair play to Fernandes, who just keeps coming up trumps. But that's all I can really say on the game. I said a bit about Liverpool. And obviously Sidi and Dotsu, shout out to him, saying on Twitter, he did feel like 2-2 Salah could have squared it. I just wish he dinked it, even if he didn't square it, but he did his original finish on his right foot, which is never strong enough, and moments like that. But I'm glad Salah got a goals today. And that's all for me, really. And I'll quickly wrap up what I'm going to ask a question about Liverpool and you guys. I'm going to go one by one slowly. Why is it all going wrong for Liverpool now? They've not won since, they beat Aston Villa in a pointless cup game. They've not won since that 7-0 against Crystal Palace. Why is it going wrong? Do they need a centre-back? Talk to me, guys, man. You're going to have to give me some therapy.
Who wants to go first?
You go.
If I'm honest, that 7-0 against Palace was probably a mask for Liverpool. I honestly stick with the fact that they've missed Jota big time for me. He came in and he gave Liverpool something different. Firmino had a good game today, but I don't think he's been playing well for the last 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah. So for me, they've missed Jota. Everyone's going to say they miss Van Dijk and Gomez, but you can't use that all season because Liverpool has still been tucking teams away when they've not been there. You cannot use that excuse all season. So for me, they've missed Jota. They're playing against too many low block teams now, and they need to find a way to get past that because if they don't, then you're going to get more results like this. So I don't know whether Klopp needs to change something. He needs to maybe implement a different style for now. But I feel like what Liverpool have done over the last 2 years isn't working right now. So your fullbacks ain't doing what they did before. Pretty much Liverpool last 2 years have been crushing inshallah, like for time. Like it's just been that. And it's worked more time than not. But now it don't seem to work. Firmino's not pulling it. Origi's not good enough. Oxalade's not good enough. Theory's not good enough. So unless their first 11 really does the job, I don't think there's players there who can come and change it. But that's for me where Jota comes in. I think as soon as he gets fit again, you'll see something different. But Liverpool have to start grinding out results like City are doing just to keep pace and keep afloat with the teams at the top. But I think they'll be fine. I still think they'll be there April, May. To be honest, I don't think it's a massive issue. It's just a mini crisis. They'll get over it.
I know all top teams go through the stage, and United winning sides, and Arsenal, when they won their first title, they won 2 after. You guys are old enough to remember that. And yes, of course, we do go through those stages. All big clubs go through it. I struggle myself. I'm not the manager, but I feel like today, obviously, went with Curtis Jones on the left. He played there in his academy side. He's often more in a central type of role. I think it was interesting to see what we can do in that position. He played Shaqiri and Origi on Thursday night. That lost 1-0 to Burnley. These players are not good enough. And I do agree with you, Ibs. Diogo Jota, we are missing him quite a lot, because there was at the start of the season, Jota was the one that was scoring the big goals in these 2-1 wins. And we don't know when he's going to come back. We missed the presence of Henderson as well, who's out, sadly.
Wait, sorry, Coach. Can I just jump in there?
Yeah, go.
The only thing that I would say is this is reminiscent of what Klopp did at Dortmund.
Oh, God forbid, yeah.
Because what he did at Dortmund was good for 2-3 years, but then it all went pear-shaped. And I think he needs to avoid that happening again. Because the squad he won leagues, but because of the way he plays his football and the intensity, they can't sustain that for so long. So you have to evolve with the time. So if that means you have to change up, maybe get a different type of striker, or I don't know, a different type of centre mid, or convert, or maybe even sell Salah or Mane and try something different to evolve. Because if he wants to stay there for 6 years, he can't play the same way he's playing.
I think it's a case of the team needed freshening up. Every season they say to maintain it as champions, you always need to bring 2 or 3 players in to keep everybody on their toes. Jota was one, and I think Thiago was the other. But the way Thiago plays and the way he controls the game, I don't think they've utilized it properly. I think there's still
injured.
And he's been injured as well. But I think it's like there's still that level of understanding that is missing between all of them. For some reason, it's like as soon as Thiago was placed there, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. It's like they're still in that gung-ho mode with the fullbacks and stuff, but he's more intricate, and you know what I mean? It's like he's trying to, some of his passes he does are amazing, but you can see some of them are just not running it, like they haven't clocked it, and he's doing some mad passes. I don't put it down to the defense because Van Dijk and Gomez are missing, but Liverpool haven't been, apart from that Villa where they conceded 7, when you actually look at the goals they've conceded, it's not like they've been killed by everyone. They might concede 1 here, 2 there, whatever, but they're not getting killed. It's not like if other teams lost their number 1 centre-back, they'd be finished. They're not finished. They still got something. I think it's just a staleness. When you've been doing the same thing, as Ib said, 2 years, gung-ho, intense, you need to figure out a different way. And teams now have figured out, let's just chill. If we chill and we can stop the crossing, what happens next? Salah and Mane they're not gonna out jump you for corners and stuff. So if you can stop the crosses like Burnley did, you're in with a game.
Yeah, Sidi, I just wanted to say, sorry, Chris, I will comment to you, I know. Sidi was talking about Thiago playing those passes, and I think he has actually utilized his game like he did at Bayern. I do believe so, but I just feel like the front three have been very stale, difficult, just can't meet these lower blocks. And of course, teams go through the stage. I'll comment to what you actually said as well, Ibs, about Dortmund's last, sort of season on the Klopp. Sometimes they burn out, but that's natural. I don't think it's just the Liverpool Klopp, high intensity side that burns out. I think everyone does. City did to an extent last year as well. So in the long picture, yes, I can understand. But City, what I will say with the defense issue, today is probably a good example, but I feel like, there's games where we are winning 1-0, but that a Van Dijk or a Joe Gomez or Joe Matip, when he's ever fit, will just shore it up and make sure that we win 1-0. And I think that the fact that we're not signing that centre-back will leave us at risk. Liverpool fans will agree with me. And if any Liverpool fans listen to the podcast, let me know if I'm right or wrong, man. Honestly.
No, I'll let you know that you're right, Shahab, and I'm not a Liverpool fan. And first of all, what I want to start by saying is I think the surgery is far too early. If you've been paying attention to the league, we've been seeing the table keeps jumping, this and that. If we were here 6 weeks ago, we'd be talking about what's happened with Man United. Ollie's a PE teacher, this and that. Now suddenly it's Ollie's fantastic. 6 weeks ago, City were all over the place. It's Pep's this. Now, as far as I'm concerned, City are top of the table in my books because they got the game in hand. United, I always look at them so I'm looking at them now as the front runners. Liverpool are 6 points behind Man United right now. They have injuries. We can't take away from that. However, some of the players who obviously are their key players who aren't injured, like Trent for me, not had his best season in a while. I don't know what's been happening with this season. I think Robertson's been doing his job consistently. Trent on the other side, not so much. Gini Wijnaldum again, that's another guy who steps up there on it for you guys on occasion. Not seen much from him this season. So I think it's a case of a mix of injuries and just, I don't know, the increasing competition of the Premier League with the other teams. It's far too early for me to start saying, okay, what's happening with Liverpool? Because we could be back here in 2-3 weeks and the discussion is going to change again.
Okay. Coach, do you want to wrap up what you wanted to say?
Yeah, just I think Klopp needs to take a bit more blame on the situation. I think it's cool saying that, we should just get a centre-back in January. Me personally, I think that, like, if you know that you are a club that is a buy-to-sell policy, you know that's what you are. At the end of the day, nothing's really changed from the owners, from Liverpool. It's just that Klopp's bought much better than previous managers. That's what he's done. So the strategy hasn't changed from the owner. So if the strategy is not changing, and you know that, for me, Klopp has to adapt better. Playing 4 at the back with Reece Williams in there is not good enough. You're not protecting the young centre-back who's not good enough, by the way. So if you're going to put him in there, and we already know he's not good enough, you need to possibly play a 3 at the back. Even if you get another youth team player out there, put Fabinho in the middle, put 2 younger players either side of him. You've got the width in Trent and Robinson. You play your 3 in the middle, and maybe you drop a Firmino out who hasn't been in 4, and go with Mane and Salah, who's just floating around. You've got to adapt to what's going on with the situation. It's not just, the owner's not spending the money. We need a centre back that's going to solve everything at the end of the day. So for me, Klopp knows what the transfer policy is at Liverpool. And Shahab, you just said it, is buy to sell. You know it's buy to sell, so you have to adapt to the situation. But I did hear Klopp's assistant in one interview say they work on one philosophy. That's what they work on. They don't work on anything else. So it doesn't matter what players are coming in and out. They have one philosophy. Well, this is where the cons come into that one philosophy. You cannot adapt to different situations. You're just playing that same philosophy over and over again. But do you have the players to play it? Is Reece Williams good enough to carry out your philosophy? He's not good enough. So how are you going to protect him if he does play, and how are you going to adapt? So I think Klopp needs to take more blame on what's going on. But what Nesi was saying was correct. I'm not overblowing this Liverpool situation. They've had a couple main injuries and that. It would hurt any of our teams. I've always said it before. If Maguire goes out for United, we're messed. We're finished. It's simple as that. If Maguire goes out, we're finished. So Van Dijk being out and Gomez being out, that's like Bailly and Maguire being out. We'd be messed up as well. We'd be messed up. So I don't think it should be overblown. But I do think that Klopp needs to adapt to the situation better than coming out in interviews and saying, I don't spend the money. So it's not just about spending money.
You know what, Coach? You are right. Obviously, you tried to give one solution, about, maybe we could play back 3. Yeah, we don't have any centre-backs to play back 3, firstly. But I hear what you're saying in terms of trying to find a way to adapt. And I think during the season when we went to the first Champions League final in Kiev, we found another way to overstep that mark to go and obviously get 97 points. And I think the fullbacks was key to that. I think Van Dijk was obviously key to that as well. And now it's the way to obviously what can you do to try and break through? Look, time will tell. Time will tell. I want to quickly wrap up Liverpool because we've got to move on. I'm just going to say their fixtures. The next fixtures is Tottenham away, West Ham away, Brighton at home, Man City at home, Leipzig in the Champions League, Leicester away, and Everton at home. So Liverpool, you better pick up some points because there's a lot of clubs there I don't like. And there's going to be a very interesting time for Liverpool. But if Liverpool pick up the results in this period, I think hopefully Liverpool will pick on and cement that place. And hopefully, I think the title race is probably a bit too far considering where the squad is, but hopefully cement their place in that 4th position and forward. So Liverpool fans, let me know. I need a Liverpool fan in here one day, man, and hopefully soon. And let me know what you guys think. Interact with me on YouTube and Instagram. And quickly, we'll wrap up Liverpool. United talk. They won against Fulham, 2-1. Pogba your favourite player, coach, came up in trumps, got man of the match today. They've got Sheffield United midweek before they play Arsenal. We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, what's your? I know you talked earlier about Man United and the game. What's your feelings towards them right now?
I mean, for me, in my heart, we're in a false position. But in my head, I'm looking at the table. That's it. It's as simple as that. Like I'm a realist here. Like United's bubble can burst in any second. 2 bad results, we're down at 4th, and it's a whole different conversation. So I think even Solskjaer, that's why he's not talking too much title talk, because I think he knows. He understands his team. If you're a real fan, you understand what United are and whatnot. But all we just got to do is focus on the next game. That's all we can do at the end of the day. That this is we got another 19 games or 18 games to go. There's the whole load of games to play at the end of the day. But with United fans, because we ain't been there since 2013, we're just getting overly excited. That's what it is. We're getting overly excited that we're top of the table. We can't believe we're in this position and just allow us to get excited and whatnot. Ole Solskjaer, he's been doing a good job. I'm still going to stand by what I said. Once again, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. In the summer, I'd like a perfect send-off where we win the league, Pogba gets sold, and Ole stays. Or if Pogba stays, Ole has to go for me if you don't win a trophy. So that's where I stand right now. But as we're going along, we're getting those results where we need it. Fulham, all these teams away, Burnley 1-0. I like those pressure games because it shows me that the players, maybe their mentality is shifting a little bit in terms of, listen, we are in a race. Like we're not in a 4th, we are in the top 4 race, but we're in the title race as well. And that mentality might shift, which is where you probably seen Pogba's best performances, whereas he's under the microscope as this is what we brought you here for, to fire us the titles and be the main guy. And he's stepping up so far. Even his work rate was the best thing today. He got man of the match, but his work rate was really good today, winning the ball back, etc., etc. So we just got to keep churning out the results. That's all we can do, and just see where we are at the end of the season. Just see where we are.
Yeah, well said. I guess mathematically that you're there. I've spoken to many United fans, and they do say, we're so surprised that we're in this position. And on another season, it could have flipped. Liverpool might be 6 points ahead, and United would be 4.
Yeah.
But United are there, and time will tell. And they've got a big game next week. Well, I know they play Sheffield United midweek before that against Arsenal at the Emirates. But before I come on to that,
it's a big game.
Why not? Arsenal, Man United, never a big game?
It's a big game for Arsenal. For us, it's just, it's a normal game for us. It's a normal game for us.
All right. Guys, don't react to him before I say that. Nesi, I know I just stopped you there, Nesi. I know you're going to see.
I just have to let coach flow sometimes.
No, I was just going to say, bit on the FA Cup. Arsenal did go out of the FA Cup, the holders. They lost 1-0 to Southampton. I think I don't know if it was given an own goal or not, but Walker Peters or Gabriel own goal. Chelsea went through. They won by 3-1 against Luton. Tammy Abraham, hat-trick. Dan, if you listen to the show, it's not looking good.
That's your guy,
He keeps scoring. I'm not getting it wrong.
It's a shame Dan's not here because we were going to speak about Lampard later in the show. But yeah, last week it was Mount digging him through. This week it's at Tammy Abraham. Werner missed another penalty, so he's being tough for him. But Chelsea through to the next round. They played Barnsley in the next round after they beat Norwich by 1-0. Leicester, they won by 3-1 against Brentford away. They were 1-0 down. And Man City had a slight scare against Cheltenham Town. They were losing 1-0, but they also won by 3-1. Yeah, that's pretty much the FA Cup roundup. Arsenal against Manchester United preview. It's only right because there's so many Arsenal and Manchester United supporters in here. You guys just going to have to interrupt me. What do you guys think then? How do you think the game will go?
Let the Arsenal guys go first. Go.
No, I can't call it because I expect United to come and just sit back and try and hit us on the counter-attack. That's it. They're not going to come to control the game. I'm not sure what formation Ole will play, whether he will stick with the team that they sort of ended with, but have maybe Rashford in for Cavani and maybe shift Pogba out wide. So kind of like they lined up against Liverpool at Old Trafford. They'll try and sit back and try and hit us on the counter-attack. So with that, Arsenal need to take the onus and pretty much take the game to them. The last couple of performances against United at the Emirates, Arsenal have been on the front foot. So I think they need to do that again. Personally, I'd like to see an attackive Arsenal team. So that means maybe not playing Lacazette and going Aubameyang up front if he's there. If not, play Martinelli. I just want to see Arsenal go for it because it's one of them games where you can really pick off a team who's high flying. So it'd be good to see that. Gabriel, I'm not sure if he should play, if I'm honest. He seemed a bit lackluster yesterday, but maybe that's because his first game back. But I feel like Arsenal can win the game. I'm not confident going into the game. I'd be bitterly disappointed if we were to lose it in like a bad manner, because I feel like these are the games where Arsenal need to really show that they want to get top 10. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of those games where we need to go into it and cement something, because if we start losing games again, you're just going to get the same stuff we had 5-6 weeks ago, and that's not really good. We've done quite well, to be fair. So I think Arsenal can win. But United will be threatening on the counter-attack. So.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ibs, you won the last game 1-0, so we'll see how
it goes. No, we ain't lost to United in the last 5 or last 4, but it's one of those games where United weren't in a position they're in now. So now it's different because they're you know what I mean? They're going for something. They've got the grit between their teeth, whatever it is, between their teeth, sorry. So they want to win and say, we've gone to the Emirates now, we've won, we just beat Liverpool, you know. But Arsenal need to go there, win the game, and then just move on to the next one.
Okay, fair enough. Nesco, do you want to add anything there?
Yeah, I think this one's different because a lot of the last times, every time we meet United the second time in the season, the games have been more or less meaningless. We've been in 8th, they've been in 7th, or they were focusing on the Europa League final, like when they had Jose. A lot of the times, the return fixture, a lot of the times has been meaningless. This is the first one in ages where we're both playing for something. You asked the question, how do I think the game will go? It all depends, obviously, on the lineups. It's a tough one, man. It's a really tough one. Like, it can really go either way. Do I think United are going to play on the counter? Are they that scared of us? No, I don't think so. I think they've got more players that are in form right now. Our attack is looking really, really hit and miss. Like, yeah, the young boys, we're saying Saka, we're talking about Emil Smith-Rowe, but they're still young kids, you understand? The guys that we should be expecting to fire, the Aubameyangs, the Lacazettes, they're not really doing it for us. Whereas, you know, like, for example, if Aubameyang's on a one-on-one chance right now, I can't sit back and be like, yep, that's in. United's guys, if it's Pogba, if it's Bruno, if it's Rashford on the end of something, it's probably going to go in. So, yeah, we can say about, okay, the last 4 and 5 we've won or whatever. I don't know, Ibs will know the stats, but how many of those games have really, really had any bearing on the season? It's a tough one, man. I think it might end up a draw. Like, sorry to sit on the fence, but yeah, until I see the lineups on the Saturday, it's really hard for me to say.
Okay, fair enough. Anything you want to add, Sidi?
I agree with both of them. It's just, it depends on the lineup, but it's one of them games where when United, I feel like, as they said, like the way they play on counter attack, this is different because they can't really do it now. This is an opportunity for them to dictate a game, to take the game to Arsenal and say, you know what, we're going for a title here. We're not just coming to like steal a couple points and run. We're coming to show everybody we're champions. Like, we're not Chelsea. We're going to come in and play. But then, let me finish, it's just that United don't necessarily always dictate games like that. So this is why it's going to be interesting, because they're the ones that have to do it. They're the ones that have to show everybody, let's play, like, let's stand up and, you get me, do what we're doing. We have to get them back for what they did at Old Trafford. You know what I mean? When we went there and won, they have to get that back and do it emphatically to say, yep, we're not here to mess around. So it's going to be an interesting game. I don't think Oli can come and just set them up to do counter, because also with us being somewhat cautious as well, we might sit back and try to do counter as well. Then you suddenly get a draw out of nothing, and they can't, because the table's too close that neither of us can afford to draw. We can't afford to lose. So it's gonna be a very cagey game. Honestly, I couldn't tell you who would win. It really does depend on the lineup.
Sorry, just to latch on to the back of what Sidi said, I think when you look at it, that's what makes it so hard to predict. I think it's not even Arsenal right now. It's really more United. They've been in so many of these back and forth exciting games recently that it's like look at the Liverpool game today. We scored, you score, we score, we. So it makes it just so hard to predict. But I don't know. I'm just not of the opinion that they're going to be that fearful of us, that they're going to go on and sit on the counter with the way they've been playing. Like, look at how they played. Where was the game today? Was that OT?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So they were at home, but they were on the front foot today. To me, they looked like they were taking the game to Liverpool. I don't. Yeah, like Sidi said, there's too much on it. They've got to get one back. They lost against us at home. Let's see. Ibs might be right. Let's see. But either way, none of that's good for Arsenal. Them playing on the counter, them kind on the front foot. It's not good for us. Right? But let's see what the.
Wanted to ask there was, Ollie don't need to lose. It's a game where he doesn't need to lose because he can still put points at bottom teams. If Ollie goes into it and gets a draw, it's not a bad result for United. These are them games when you look at a title-winning team. If you go to away grounds, Jose will tell you, don't lose. Because if Ollie picks up a point and then they win their next 4, he'll look at it and say, fine, 13 points out of 5. It's not a bad. It's one of them.
But the thing,
Ollie don't necessarily. If Ollie goes on the attack and they get beat 2-0, people will say, should have gone with, you know what I mean? Don't look at him and think, why didn't he be tactically aware of that? So if he sits up, and I'm not saying he has to be defensive, but if he knows he doesn't want to lose and can pick off a win, then he'll take that if he has to. Because for United, it's about not letting City go too far ahead, but still being around there March and April. So if he gets a draw, it's like Liverpool. If he gets a draw, he ain't going to be upset. I don't know. Do they have to go City still, United?
the thing with United's away games is all United's away games are the big teams, though.
Yeah, but he won't be upset if you get a draw, because if you beat them at home, that's 4 points. That's how you have to carry. Mourinho was perfect at it.
Yeah, but that's on that point. You've already lost. They've already lost.
So at the end of the season, of 6, you've only taken 1.
That's what I mean. He's picking up points elsewhere. But if he now draws at City or was to draw at Chelsea or whatever, if he beats them at home, he's not upset. So he wants to just be around it. Just be around. I don't think they can go there and play. They can, but I don't think Ollie will set them up like that. Otherwise, you should start Greenwood, Martial, and Rashford. But I just suspect he'll Matic. I mean, McTominay and Fred. But anyway,
on a United perspective on things, I don't think we should care about whether Arsenal beat us early on in the season. We just played a game. Counter attack, I got no problem. Right now, we're in the stage of the season where I just need a result. I don't really care about the performance. I just need the result. I just need 3 points. Could be a deflected goal from Gabriel's toe that goes in last minute. I don't really care. I just need the 3 points at the moment. So if we go there and play counter attack, because what Ollie's doing with the counter attack now, he's doing a little cheating thing, and he did it today. He got away with it, but he did it, where he keeps Rashford and Greenwood quite high. They don't really track their runners all the way. So that's why as soon as we get the ball, Pogba, McTominay, whatever it is, that outlet pass has got to go straight away. He's got to punch it into them too, and they're on their way. Now with Liverpool, they've got Robinson and Trent that can really hurt you when they move forward because they're really high up. I don't think Bellerin and Tierney is going to hurt us that much. So if he does go with the Rashford and Greenwood or Martial, whoever's out wide, cheating, and they're just hanging up front, waiting for that counter, for me, once again, we've got to play like a McTominay and Fred in there. They just do the defensive work. They got to win the ball back with the back four and get it out to Rashford or Martial or Greenwood quickly and hit Arsenal on the counter. If we score first, I'll be very surprised if we lose, if we score first, because the Smith Rowes, the Sakas, they'll just do their naivety. They'll come out and just play this, that, and we just pick them off. That's what we got to do. We just got to pick off what's the word I'm looking for? The naivety in the team, basically in Arsenal's team. They'll have the energy. They'll probably have most of the ball based on Arteta's way of playing. He'll probably have most of the ball, but it's about what you do with the ball. And I think we've got more match winners. So if I'm Ollie, I'm not looking for the draw, like Ib said. I'm looking for the win. Like the draw. If United come out of that game with a draw, I'll be disappointed personally, because I think that's not the strongest Arsenal team we've seen over the years. So you got to take advantage of it. We're a different team to when we played them at Old Trafford to when we are now. So for me, we've got Pogba, we've got Bruno, we've got Rashford, we've got Cavani, we've got match winners around. And we should not be going to the Emirates looking at Arsenal's first 11 and being scared whatsoever. That doesn't mean we're going to go there and dominate the game. That could still be Arsenal. Arsenal could still dominate possession. But in terms of the key moments in the match, we should have much more than Arsenal for me. So for me, counter-attack, I think Ollie's going to do the same thing. I think Ollie's just going to go there, counter-attack, see if we can get the first goal. Even if we don't get the first goal, the players' confidence is so high right now that even when they concede, they still feel they can get back in the game. So you might as well just go there, play how we play. We don't have the players to dictate play. That's for me. I think our quality of midfielders, we cannot dictate play. I've seen it too many times. McTominay, Fred, they're not players that pop it, move it, pop it, move it. They're players that get it into Bruno quickly. Bruno gets it into Rashford. We're on our way. That's just what we're doing. So I'll be disappointed if we draw against Arsenal. So I think that we're going to go there and win, personally.
Okay, an interesting one then. We'll wrap up the preview between United and Arsenal. It's going to be interesting because next time we do the podcast, someone's going to be happy and someone's not, hopefully.
Hopefully it's Arsenal.
Hopefully it is Arsenal. Going to come on to Arsenal just quickly, maybe 3-4 minutes. Arsenal have got a few interesting fixtures coming up. Will we know more about where Arsenal finish in the next 5 or 6 games? Or, what's the general feeling around the club then?
Well, I think Arsenal have done actually shrewd business so far in the loan market, if I can say that.
Oh yeah.
I feel Odegaard's going to be an okay signing. He ain't even got a quarantine, so that's good. As long as he gets a negative result, he can come straight into the team. So he ain't got to miss out on a few weeks. Getting a keeper in was important as well, because if Leno was to get injured, then this whole Arsenal season would derail so bad with that other keeper in goal. What's his name? Renarson, or whatever his name is. But Arsenal need to just get the results, that's it. Literally, if they have to grind them out and get to this Benfica game in Europa League and be in a position where they're doing all right, then I'll take that happily. I know Arsenal are not going to really play pretty football until like next season or something if you get the personnel they want. So for me now, it's just about grinding out results. And
so Ibs, who would you rather have right now? Odegaard, I think that's his name, or Ozil?
Allow adding the cat. Listen, we've got 4 minutes.
No, it's a serious question. No, I'm asking you, would you have rather kept Ozil, had him for 6 months, and let him go? Or would you bring Odegaard in, who's coming in for 6 months? Who would you rather have?
Right now,
would you rather have the experience or the youth?
I'd rather have Odegaard, honestly.
Thank you.
I love it.
Question closed.
That's that. For me, Odegaard's going to come in and do something different. I didn't want the Escos or the other guys and all that. I just want Arsenal to just keep playing how they're playing with the youth. Willian, Pepe, they need to just touch bench and just stay there. Partey needs to play all the time. I don't necessarily want to see Hector Bellerin start all the time, but
I don't want to see him start at all.
I'm not as confident in Ainsley or Cedric doing it. So I think they should just do rotation.
Cedric's better than Bellerin straight.
For me, Holding has to play, period. Because
please play Holding next week.
No,
listen
to my
Holding will play, bro.
Listen to my point. The reason why I say that is because for me, Luis just don't cut it. And then Gabriel has to play. So for me, it's just got to be them two. That's how it will play out for the rest of the season. Simple as that. Tierney, as we know, if we can get another left back in, would be good, to be honest. And then Xhaka and Partey, and then the front four can do their business. That's all it is. Arsenal just need to grind out results.
Yeah.
And get top 8. If you can go far in Europa, go far and win it. That's it.
Yeah. Well, we all know Arsenal grinding out results is just not what we do. So if we're looking at it from that aspect, it's just not going to happen. I hate when people say that. It's really, yes, it sounds good, but it's just not going to happen. Just not what Arsenal do. I'm looking at our fixtures, not looking good for us. All teams that we've struggled against in the last recent 2 seasons. So like Ib said, 8th sounds thereabout correct. Like, 8th. Yes, yeah, 8th sounds thereabout correct. Looking at the next couple of fixtures.
Before you can wrap this up.
I'm looking at next season. This season.
Sorry, Neska, you lagged out slightly. You might.
Oh yeah, mad.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well.
Yeah, just go back 30 seconds and then you can continue.
Sorry, yeah, I'll just say, listen, Arsenal, we're not the team to grind out results. I think we just need to focus on, I'm already thinking about next season. We need to focus on getting our system, getting our football up to a standard where we're still in a process of rebuilding confidence. Arteta's got to still figure out what's his best 11, and that again goes back to the United question. That's what it's going to depend on. I'll see the lineup at 4:30 next Saturday and know, okay, you know what? I think we can beat United here, or I think we're going to lose here. A load of us saw the lineup for Southampton yesterday, and 2-3 of us said instantly, yep, we're out of the FA Cup, because it's just that simple to identify. We all know the players who are just not going to cut it in this team. Arteta, for whatever reason, still needs to give them chances, whether it's contractual clauses, whatever the case may be. So I don't see us grinding out the results to the rest of the season. We're already too far behind. If we finish, I think our best chance is probably Europa. Again, that's still tough for us to win. But yeah, the hope is still there. Mathematically, it's possible. We can win top 4. I would love to be proven wrong. But being realistic, it just does not look good for Arsenal.
Before I come on to you, Sidi, I was going to read the fixtures because I've got a good mate of mine who's an Arsenal fan, and I've seen him say some stuff on WhatsApp that they only have to play one of the supposedly top 6 away only once more this season. But I think Nesco is more of a realist because I looked at the fixtures. Southampton away, Man United home, Man United home, Wolves away, Villa away, Leeds at home, Benfica, Man City at home, Benfica.
Listen, I'm sorry, sorry to cut you. I'm looking at it. Wolves, they're going to do their Portuguese dance on us. Aston Villa, we already know what Grealish is about. Leeds, they're going to come with their Bielsa football. It's very long. City, just chalk the free. Forget it.
Last season and beat them.
Say again?
Beat Wolves last season.
And the season before that?
I'm talking about last season.
Okay, yeah, and I'm talking about the season before that, Ibs. We don't know what's going to happen. I would love to be wrong. What I'm trying to say is looking at the fixtures, G, and looking at the history, it's not looking good. That's all.
But Arsenal would have to play them teams regardless.
Yeah, I know that, G. Okay.
No, you listen. The thing is with football, and this season, all that we go this ground and that ground, it doesn't matter. There's no fans. There's no advantages now, home or away. It's what you do on the day. But to a certain extent, I can see why Arteta's trying to do rotation for games that don't matter. Yesterday, don't get me wrong, I always want to win every cup we're in. I can see the long-term sacrifice of an FA Cup fixture when the next important game is the league.
Let me make that clear as well. As I said, I wasn't too upset about going about that.
I've seen Arsenal FA Cup 2 times. If Southampton now played on Wednesday, Tuesday. If Southampton play on Tuesday, we win the game, and the headlines are they look tired or they'd explode their load in the game. On
even
the
if we just win,
or if we win, they'll say. Then he can look at us and he can look at it and say, "I won the more important game."
Yeah, I agree.
Which is the league game. The league game is the most important. At the end of the day, we don't have a squad that's built to last 19. Like, think about it. We've got 19 games left in the league. Europa's got another 11. FA Cup is another 5 or 6 games. We'll be finished. Our team can't hack all that games. We need to come out of what doesn't really matter. So the next 5 are mad. They're mad because of the way we play. But this league is so funny. We could easily lose all 5, draw all 5, or we could easily win all 5. And I don't like to use the word easily, but the way the league is so unpredictable. You can't predict anything. You know what I'm saying? Even the 5 we just didn't lose in the league, although it took us from 13th to 11th, it still closed the gap to the point that we're looking at the table and thinking, right, we're only 7 off Liverpool. That's how mad it is. How can we be so crap, but we're only 7 points off 4th with 19 games to go?
Mad.
You know what I'm saying? So predictions are too hard now. That's why I keep losing every week in the bookies, fam. You know what I'm saying? So
well said, Sidi. Well said, Sidi. That's really the talk about Man United and Arsenal, the preview, a bit of Arsenal talk. The season could progress in the next few games, and Arsenal fans, let me know in YouTube and on Instagram and interact with me there. And quickly before we go on to UFC, we've got a few 5-10 minutes on this subject about Frank Lampard and Chelsea. The question that was given on the agenda is, how long does Lampard have left, really? He's won his last 2 FA Cup games, of course. He did lose to Leicester by 2-0 and just about scraped past Fulham with a 1-0 victory. They play Wolves next week, or in midweek, I think. I think it's fair to say, if any decent normal owners would give him the end of the season, but the Chelsea owners are not like that. So what is it now? Does he have to try to pick up the results in the 3 or 4 good games that they got on paper before they get the long run, or how's it looking for Lampard in your guys' opinion?
I think with Lampard, I think you will definitely get to the end of the season.
Will he?
I think unless literally they go on another 4 to 5 losing, I think they'll give him to the end of the season. To be fair, how can he survive? I think no one knows how Abramovich is thinking right now. That's the thing. He's not in the country or whatever. We don't know how he's thinking. We know what his track record is, but it's a different climate right now. So I think top 4 might save him. I don't know why. I don't know why I think that, but because he's the media darling, yeah, I think top 4 might save Lampard. If he gets top 4, I think that might save him for another season. Might save him for, but I wouldn't be surprised if Abramovich said, "Nah, we're going a different direction because I've given you all that money and you haven't produced what I wanted you to produce." No one would be shocked, but I also would not be shocked if Abramovich said, "Cool, Frank, you're the media darling, the club darling, whatever you want to call him. I'll give you another season." But yeah, top 4 minimum for him. Otherwise, he's out. Top 4 minimum.
Yeah, I'm just going to read the fixtures quickly. When I was talking about the fixtures before they got a long, interesting list, basically before they play Atletico Madrid in the Champions League, which is on 23rd of Feb, they've got Wolves at home, which Wolves are difficult, but I think Chelsea should have enough. Then they've got Burnley at home. Then they've got Spurs and Sheffield United away, and then they've got Newcastle. So out of that list, probably Spurs would be the most difficult for them. But then after that, they've got Southampton away, Atletico, Man United, Everton, Leeds, Atletico, Liverpool, and then Palace. So it's looking difficult for them after that set of early games that I said to them. And that's why the question was really raised. In my opinion, I think if he loses to the likes of Newcastle and Sheffield United, I genuinely think he might be gone, just to the way Abramovich has been in the past. But I think they should stick with him to the end of the season because it's such a tight season. And, you know, as Sidi was saying about Arsenal, they're only 7 points behind 4th. Chelsea only 5 points behind 4th as well. So a few games.
I mean, they're getting Avram Grant ready already. So once those rumors of Avram Grant and all that stuff is getting ready, then you know what's coming in. The short-term fix, you know what's coming. And he's Abramovich's friend. So
where's Gus Hiddink? Is Hiddink still managing or?
Yeah, Gus is.
I think so. Yeah, he's one of them.
So is Rafa Benitez. My thing with Chelsea is he's got these games that you read out, but for me, it's the Atletico Madrid. If they go out of that, then
they will.
Then you got the FA Cup. But for me, then I wouldn't. They're probably like 3rd or 4th favourites for that after Tottenham City and United. But he's got to now win like the next 4 or 5 Prem games. He cannot go on another barren run where he gets 2 wins out of 5 up to Atletico.
Yeah.
But I said it at the start of the season. He's on a tightrope, and if they were to go out to Atletico Madrid in bad fashion, maybe stay in the FA Cup, but they're not near top 4, I don't see the point of keeping him.
Yeah,
you can play at the end of the season, but you could bring in someone like Rafa or whoever. They'll steady the ship, and then you just get one of those German managers in next season. Also, he needs to get Timo firing, because if Timo doesn't fire for the next 3 months, it can be very long for Lampard.
Yeah, that's definitely been an issue. He missed the penalty today, which is, I mean, the guy's luck is just rotten at the moment.
And I don't think it helps that Tammy keeps scoring, and he's not. I know it's only against Championship opposition or League One, but those are the games where Werner needs to score a hat-trick, not Tammy Abraham. But Tammy's doing it, and not Werner.
I know Danny's not here on the show, and
Where's Dan?
Nah, you know what? I can see where Dan is coming from, but I think you should probably remember. Shout out yourself, Dan. I don't want to draw you out like I've done to coach in the past few weeks, but Mount and Abraham have managed to get you guys in the top 4, and I think they deserve a lot of credit. And I think
Mount, man.
Listen, Mount is a good player. I don't know why you keep saying this, that, Mount is a very good player, and you know,
Mount is just no,
he's very important.
I don't even think Mount's better than Curtis Jones.
Okay, all right, cool. They're both good players for me, so I'm not going to compare them. But yeah, I mean, is there anyone want to add on Lampard quickly before we go on to
Lampard? Ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. I think it's for him to leave. He would have to go on the worst run ever. The worst run ever. They're not gonna. I don't think anyone's personally will get sacked. There's no point, because if you sack, unless you know already the next person that's coming in and they're prepared to come in now. So if it was Nagelsmann who was their next manager and he said, you know what, I'm coming, like Lampard gets sacked in 2 weeks, he says, yep, I'm coming, then it works, because then he's got the rest of the season and then the summer to start working with the team. But I don't see the point.
Rafa's left his Chinese job.
But Rafa, you know what, Rafa's just gonna come in. Listen, what was Rafa's last time at Chelsea? Didn't they hate him, even though he won Europa? They hated him. They had signs in the crowd. I think they hated him. They're not gonna go down that road again. It will just be. You can't lose by keeping Lampard.
But you're not. The guy
but okay, but Atletico Madrid. Let's be honest. they're so clear in La Liga right now. It defies belief. They'll get cleared. Okay, so he might win FA Cup. He might win FA.
Then that's a good season for him.
Of course it is.
That's a good
It's a good season for
You
him,
can't say that.
but it's not a good season for them. That's the difference.
Really, realistically,
No, I agree with you.
No, for him, I said this at the start of the season. He himself needs a trophy to justify something. But with the outlay that he spent, he needs a bigger trophy. You get me? That's what I said.
I think that's harsh, man. You just got 4 or 5 top players that come out of Germany this season, and what you're just meshing them together just to win in the first season. That's
tough.
I
didn't say to. No, but I'm not saying he should. Listen, I never said he should win the league. I personally never said that.
So what's a bigger trophy?
For him, he needed the FA Cup. He needed the FA Cup.
Yeah, but you're saying a bigger trophy for Chelsea. But what's a bigger trophy?
Obviously, Chelsea are
That's
expected. I'm saying for the outlay that they spent, they're expected to win that. But for him personally, he needed to just be nearer the top, but to get one of the cups. That's what he needed. If he had like a FA Cup, but he was like second in the league, then they would have said, you know what? Maybe we can build on that for next year. You know what I mean? What's the missing keys? Like, what's the little piece of the puzzle? But for him to have all this money spent and leave with no cup and finish 8th or 7th, you can't justify that.
I think top four in the cup will definitely give him another year, 100%.
Yeah,
top 4 in the cup will give him another year. Yeah, you'll give him to Christmas. Yeah, you'll give him to Christmas.
Yeah,
but like you said, if he gets an FA Cup and he finishes outside the top 4, now you're looking a bit iffy there. What's Abramovich thinking?
I'm just going to move on quickly because we're running out of time. So yeah, that's the talk on Lampard. Let me know what you guys think, man, in the comments below, and interact with me on Instagram. And shout out Dan, obviously, top guy, and hopefully we'll have him back on the podcast soon. We're going to do a start sub sell quickly before we go to MMA.
Ooh, another one.
We'll have to be very quick because we are running slightly out of time. So this one is, would you start sub or sell Bruno Fernandes, Pogba, or Kevin De Bruyne? I'll go first. I always go first.
Let me go first.
And we're not once again, guys, it's not based on form.
I can go
based
now.
on the player.
I can go right now.
That should go without saying. If you go on form,
for me,
Listen, as Samuel has told us before, he said if there's one player, imagine Champions League final, who are you picking, who you putting on the bench, and who you taking to the reserves? So
I'll go.
Okay, cool. Sidi asked, but yeah, whatever.
Go on, Sidi. If you want to go first, you can go.
Okay, start Kevin De Bruyne, sub Bruno and Pogba. Thanks for coming. Simple as that.
Cool. So what I'm gonna do, because it seems that everyone's gonna agree, I'm gonna flip that round. For me, I'm starting Pogba, and I'm subbing De Bruyne, and I'm selling Fernandes. You're talking about one game. I've seen the guy do it at World Cup stage. So you're talking about one game to win it all. Then I'm going off what I've seen. Simple.
Yeah, but I don't know.
And he's not even my favorite player like that either.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks disingenuous already because we've seen you knock Pogba too many times on this channel. And if
No. It makes me balance.
If we're using that analysis, it's a Champions League final. Right now, you can't rely on Pogba. So you're making yourself look like a joker. You're contradicting yourself big time, bro. Because you've stated it too many times on the channel.
No. You said a big game.
If you're talking about, it depends. If you're talking about, okay, big game, whatever, you can't rely on him. If you're talking about overall ability and everything the player can do, physicality, speed, carrying the ball, yeah, I can see why you say Pogba. But we have to go off. We have to, because you can't say, we're not saying form, but 3 years, 2 years is more than form. Pogba, the £90 million, all of that, the haircut, it didn't work, fam. It's not what we thought it was going to be. I'm basing it on his United career, his United return. It didn't work. Anyway, my thing is the same order as Sidi's. Reason I go KDB, the consistency, the cups that we've seen him a big part of City winning. Get me 2-footed, can literally control, dictate a game.
Hold on, what's this guy talking about? He's bringing up accomplishments. It's not accomplishments.
Let me finish, G. That's one. Yeah, George, you're the king of that, G. You're the king of that accomplishment.
What do you mean it's not accomplishments?
You're the king of that. But it is accomplishment because he's won them. He's won them to do that. He's the one who's... Listen,
he ain't been in no Champions League final, so don't talk to me about De Bruyne.
Champions League. I'm talking about league. Who's talking about Champions League?
He ain't
He's
been in a
alright.
World Cup final, so don't talk.
Probably Champions League final. You didn't used to rate World Cup before. Stop. Keep your thing consistent, G. You didn't win World Cup before, bro. You didn't win World Cup before, G.
What do you mean?
Keep consistent, George. Keep consistent. You bring up World Cup when it's convenient for you, G.
Boys,
Anyway, I'm going. You said yours, innit? You said your order. That's cool, but we can go back episodes and you contradict yourself. If anyone makes a mess, you're gonna like a joke.
Go ahead. Finish it off.
But yeah, KDB. Obviously, we've seen what he's brought to the league. Been that guy a number of years. Had a few injuries set him back. Bruno, you get me? One man army. Seen how he had that instant impact for United when he came, unlike Pogba. Reason I have to sell him because he's been a disappointment. Simple as that. Hasn't been what we thought he would be when he came back to United. 90 million, Pogba didn't work. Bottom line.
All right, Ibs, you're going to wrap this up because we're running out of time. So who do you say?
No, it'd be De Bruyne and then it'd be Pogba and then I'd sell Fernandes.
Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to go same as Sidi and Nesco. De Bruyne, Bruno and Pogba. Coach has gone for Pogba, De Bruyne, and Bruno. Is that correct? And then And then you said De Bruyne, Pogba, and Bruno. Interesting one.
Pogba, he was out of the club, by the way, which he said earlier on.
This is what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying. This is what. No, hold on, Charles. This is what Nesi does.
Jump to the next one.
You clocked yourself. I don't have to say anything.
Let me talk. You just said.
You've clocked yourself.
You just said that I want Pogba at the club.
That's but he won't sell it. But he won't sell it. Start sell. I want Pogba at the club, but I'm going to start him. Makes sense.
Exactly.
Boys, let's wrap it up.
Next one.
In the comments below and obviously in your WhatsApp group, let them know who everyone picked for the start sub sell. Interesting one. Samuel's got them riled up there. Lastly, yes, Nesco. MMA, UFC, it was Dustin Poirier who beat...
Hard. A bit lower, because Conor's still sleeping, yeah, so lower your voice, G. Conor's sleeping, bro.
Dustin Poirier just beat Conor McGregor in the second round, MMA. I wonder who the backwards cunt is now, Conor. But quickly then, we've got a few minutes. Thoughts from the fight yesterday then?
Should I start?
Yeah, go on.
Go on. Do your piece. Do your piece. You've been waiting for this. It was fantastic to see. Do you get what I'm saying? Like Conor, he's had some losses over the years, but I think that was the loss that he needed, especially for the casuals to really see that this is your king. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, me and Sidi, we've been watching UFC since 2008 when it was on Bravo. If you weren't watching UFC when it's on Bravo, please don't come and talk. Conor, he done a lot for the sport in terms of bringing it to, obviously with his trash talking and making it a more sort of household thing. I remember before Conor, everyone used to say, oh, it's barbaric, it's this and that. Conor comes in, loudmouth, great white hope. All of a sudden, he's the king. He does a lot of outlandish things, gets into a lot of crimes. We all know if this guy was of ethnic minority, they would say he's cocky, he's arrogant, he's this and that. I feel like the guy has been really blanketed and cuddled. He's been very, very disrespectful to people's face, religions, races. This guy has slapped referees. We've seen him assault civilians. There's been rape accusations which have never been on the front of media outlets. If he was black, we all know we'd be seeing that on front page of BBC, CNN, all of that. It's interesting, boy. His fanboys are still making excuses for him. In the last 6 fights, the guy's 3-3, 3 wins, 3 losses. They say he's the first he's the only fighter to have 3 knockouts in 3 different weight classes. I say he's the only fighter to tap out in 3 different weight classes. A lot of his victories have been through mental warfare, making his opponents so scared that they don't come out and fight at their best. Whereas Dustin's already slept against him, I think Dustin felt like, you know what, I've taken the worst of this guy. If you've been watching UFC, Dustin, since that loss, he's come back and he's improved massively. Now, I'll be honest, I still thought, once again, Conor's mental games and the psychological battle, I didn't think Dustin was strong enough, because after he lost to Khabib, he was really down and he was really quiet, like, you get me, really emotional. So I thought, this guy's still mentally weak. I didn't really see him beating Conor just because of the mental toughness. Obviously, Conor's a much more powerful fighter than him. Who's the better boxer? It's debatable. I think I still give the slight edge to Conor. However, it's MMA. You got to use all your tools. Dustin kicked his leg off. You get me? Made Conor only have 1 leg by the second round. Second round, Conor's leg was done. Put him away. Fantastic performance.
Okay, fair enough.
End of run.
I like that. Obviously, I'm with you.
How many minutes was that?
Around 2.5 minutes. So
Jesus Christ, man.
You've got We've got 4 minutes left, so I'll go with Sidi and Ibi for this one. Then wrap this one up for us. Then, what's your thoughts on the fight?
Fantastic performance from Poirier. He didn't have to get really too deep into second gear. I think once you take away a man's leg kicks, especially someone who stands in the way you're standing, you're done. If you take away a man's ability to stand up, it's too easy. But I think it was gonna happen. It was inevitable. As me and Nesi have been battling all day, you can't stay out of the cage for too long and then think you can come back and fight the elite. It's just not gonna happen. Nesi doesn't believe Poirier is elite deep down, but it is where it is. You know what I mean? He has to go back to the drawing board and think, does he even want to do this? Really and truly, you've made millions and millions and millions. However you've done it, you might as well just pack it up and go. If you want to go out on your sword, you'll regret it. Pick an easy fight, beat someone, and then just put your gloves down and say, guys, I'm done, man. I got 3 kids. You get me? But it was a perfect performance by Poirier. Can't lie to you. Perfect performance.
Ibs, you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, I was just going to go on the back of what Nathan said. I actually, a couple months back, thought McGregor was, he's good for the business, but when I think about it, he's someone who's just brass and just outspoken. But as Nathan said, 3-3, 3 losses, 3 wins. If you look at who he's lost to and compared to who he's beat, it's not really good telling. I think he needs to just stop now. Personally, he's won the belts. He's got a lot of money. Go chase someone in boxing for a celebrity match like Jake Paul was saying, because he's still trying to call out to people who for me shouldn't even entertain it. He's done now. He should just leave the sport. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but he's accomplished a lot. So you might as well just leave on the high now. Losing to Dustin ain't the worst thing in the world. He should just look back and think, you know what, I've done it. Let me just pass on that to the next people to just get on with it. He should do something else, if that makes sense. He's got businesses, just rely on that, because he's been too inactive in the last 5 years. He's had like 6 fights, and he shouldn't continue anymore. He should just stop, personally.
Let's remember 0 title defenses. So I don't want to see this guy. Champ in the division where he's 1 and 2, one win and 2 losses, more losses than wins.
First one.
I don't want to see. He's only 145. Yeah,
145
don't count. He beat Eddie Alvarez. No one gives a damn about Eddie Alvarez. G. Keep it real. I don't want to see Conor any pound for pound list. In fact, he shouldn't even be in the UFC Hall of Fame for me. That's how deep it is.
He will be.
Sorry.
He will be.
I know he will.
He will be.
But I don't want to see this guy on any GOAT list, any pound for pound list, all time. None of that. Please. It's a disrespect to the people that have actually been fans of UFC since its inception and know the history and know the actual real fighters and some of the accomplishments that these guys have done, as that were coming from pride, and now allow it, please.
Okay, right, fair enough. That's it really. To wrap it up, I'm just gonna echo what you guys say. Yeah, Dustin Poirier, fantastic performance. I am not McGregor's biggest fan, obviously, so I'm with Nesco there. It'll be interesting to see what might happen to Khabib. Obviously, he was meant to have a chat with Dana White. He said he's going to see what's happening. God knows what's going to happen now. Whether he's going to fight Dustin Poirier, that'll be interesting to see. So yeah, just let me know in the comments below, guys, on the MMA fight last night.
Coach, what's your opinion?
I can't stand MMA. It's just awful. It's an awful sport, mate. So
I know. That's why I said it. That's why I said it.
You really understand boxing, Have you heard his boxing talk?
I've seen the comments.
What's he going to like?
I've seen the comments. I've seen the comments.
Not for Coach G. Just go and watch Spin or something. Talk about.
What I will say is that McGregor is a pay-per-view guy. Yeah. I don't know the ins and outs of MMA. He should just go and do the Pacquiao fight. Just go and fight these boxers, earn your money, and just bow out.
Let's not do that. Yeah.
I'm saying if I'm McGregor, I'm doing that.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I saw the comments. Dr. Dre, shout out to him. That's the one that was.
That's my friend. He's an idiot. I taught him everything he knows. Don't listen to Dr. Dre on the comment section. Yeah.
Everything he knows. All right. Fair enough. We'll wrap up there then. Basically, so we just talked a lot. It's been action-packed show. Man United 3, Liverpool 2, Liverpool talk. Me just sharing my frustration. I don't ever want to be called as a rant like how Arsenal Fan TV do it. Arsenal talk, preview game, Man United talk, Lampard, starts them until, and obviously the MMA. So guys, just subscribe to Team Talk TV, like, share, follow me on Twitter at ShahabLFC, and you can interact with me, and obviously our Instagram page is there as well, Team Talk TV. And yeah, I don't know if your book's here, Coach, but anyways, have a look at your Coach's book, Asset and Liabilities, and that'll be on the link below in Amazon. And yeah, we'll be back next week. It'll be Arsenal against Manchester United. It's always going to be a fiery one. And let's hope my team do the job against West Ham, because I want to be happier and not a moody little git after the game as well. So yeah, subscribe, like, and we'll be back next week.
Cheers, Sharp. Thanks, man. Peace.